Hey, Brandon O'Doy, welcome inside CaneInsider headquarters here in Miami, Florida. I want to talk to you about the tight ends preseason tight end depth chart check. Let's check it out. First, you've got to start with Dyron Dye and Clive Walford. When you get ready to think about what the Miami Hurricanes are going to bring into this new season, you've got to start right there. First, with Dyron Dye, of course, he served his 4-game suspension on last season due to the NCAA sanctions, not sanctions rather, but the missteps that he took there. He immediately came back and worked his way into the starting lineup at the tight end position. It was sort of a shock to him that he was moved from defensive end to tight end. He'd been moved all around, and he was a guy that was really looking for his niche. He may have found it in this H-back role in Jedd Fisch's offense and expect to see that expanded in 2012. You also have to look to Clive Walford. With all of the uncertainty at the wide receiver position, here's a guy that came in, caught a lot of passes last season, and was sort of a factor in the offense for the Miami Hurricanes. His role will probably expand. He's got down the field speed, great size, and if he matures a little bit in the leadership department and also taking care of those off the field things like studying film, he could be someone who could make an immediate impact in the fall, someone you didn't expect to step up. Now, when you start dropping down in tight end depth, you've immediately got to think about Asante Cleveland and also David Perry. These are two guys who have the potential to be very good, particularly Cleveland, but it's a scenario where last year they didn't really get the opportunities to shine. You had a lot of players that were playing in front of them, particularly Chase Ford, Dye, and the aforementioned Walford. And now that the tight end depth is sort of tightening up, these guys now get their chance. I talked to Coach Golden several weeks ago, and he explicitly told me that Perry is not a guy who would sit there at the 4th position. So if he doesn't start working his way up into the 2 and 3, expect him to look for a new home, possibly at defensive end, depending on what shakes out there. We all know there are tons of questions of who's going to be on the other side of Anthony Chickillo, but let's not get ahead of ourselves on that discussion. You've also got to think about Corey White. He'll come back from injury, sat out all last season. He was the 2010 MVP for the scout team on offense. So he's someone to see, hey, what will he bring to the table? This spring should provide us with a lot of answers. And Billy Sanders, of course, because of the lack of depth, he may get an opportunity to be this year's John Feliciano. That's more. All of the tight end discussion, we'll have more of that later on this week. We'll be paying particular focus to that position. There are no incoming freshmen, so these guys have to make it work. Spring practice, of course, starts on Saturday, March 3rd. Keep it locked here to CaneInsider. I'm Brandon O'Doy, your beat writer, logging off right now, and we'll see you very soon.